Welcome to the Living in Utah Live question and answer session here Thursday evening. I try to make it every Thursday, just an open forum. You're welcome to ask whatever kind of questions you would like. If you want to talk about the state of Utah, real estate, maybe you're joining us from another country and you would like to talk about the United States in general. I'll do my very best to answer whatever kind of questions you may have. Today's topic, I try to do this once a month, give you an idea of what's happening in the real estate market. Mostly, I try to cover, the pricing. Is the pricing going up, down? What's the average price? And it's a list that compiles everything. So whether it's a condo, townhome, single family home, I don't single out any or filter out anything on the list, just what has sold and what the average price was when it adds up. So that each month you can compare, it's the exact same data. I think it gives you a great comparison, or it gives anyone a great comparison. I want to start out with what's happening nationally. So interest rates have been climbing. And I thought the interest rates were possibly stabilizing. The previous couple months, the federal government looks for certain data numbers to determine if they want to raise interest rates or leave them the same or lower them. One of the big items they're looking at, because they're trying to reduce the inflation, and they're looking at unemployment numbers or employment numbers, variable things that they look at. Today, every month, reports are generated. Today's report was a report on how many jobs were added or subtracted from the workforce. So from April to May, May to June, and this report, so it's a monthly report. They estimated. So the numbers for May, they added 267,000 jobs. The government is trying to reduce those numbers to bring some of that inflation down. They always forecast possibly what the number would be. The estimate was, so we were 267 in May. The estimate was for June to add approximately 220,000 jobs, basically a decrease from the previous month. The number came in. It shocked Wall Street. I was shocked when I saw the number. I actually thought it was a misprint. 497,000 jobs were added in June. That is almost double the amount of jobs that were added in May. So what does all that mean? Basically, it means that the Federal Reserve last month, when they met, they decided not to raise interest rates. And the numbers were looking at where it seemed to be things were coming down. But with these new numbers, there is a high chance that interest rate increases will continue. So I'm not too sure when the next meeting is. I believe sometime in July. But so they were shocked. Tomorrow is non-farm payroll. So we'll get an idea. The payroll numbers was an increase or a decrease. I would imagine with the numbers that were released today will probably be an increase. So significant increase. Jobs are being added. Which means possibly that we will see interest rate hikes continue down the road. And that's for everything, whether it's a mortgage or if it's a car loan or a credit card balance. Anytime that you have to borrow money, it may be going up here in the future. So that's the latest numbers. That report was just released today. Like I say, the Federal Reserve, they don't instantly just raise the interest rate, or the Fed rate, I should say. The interest rate does vary. the interest rate is actually based off of the Treasury notes. But I would imagine that the Federal Reserve is going to take a serious look at interest rates between now and their next meeting. And I will have my eyes open also to see if it's just 0.25%, 0.5%, 0.75%. I don't know. These numbers were really, really shocking. I don't think anybody expected that we would add 497,000 jobs in June. So a little bit of a shock. Be interested to see what tomorrow's numbers are. Okay, so let's take a look at the real estate market here in Utah. And you know what's happening in general. When I looked at the numbers, most counties saw a little bit of a bump May to June. And I'm looking at predominantly what came in, or the numbers for June. But I also pull up the previous months to get a comparison. Let's start at the northern part, northern county in the state, Cache County, areas like Logan, Utah. So when we look at that, we had a little bit of an increase. In June, we were up to about 435,000. In May, we were 419. We were seeing a little bit of a drop there. Back here, February, March, April, drop down a little. May, it dropped down, picking up some steam now. So a little bit of an increase, 435. How about the next county down? We'll look at Box Elder County, areas like Brigham City, Tremonton, and some other cities. And in this particular county, we went up to 418,000. In May, we were about 397. So this county was also seeing a little bit of a drop from April to May. And now it's bumped back up a little bit. And transactions were about the same. We were about 70, 69, around that same number. So the transaction count was pretty steady for that particular county. How about the next county down, Weber County, areas like Ogden, North Ogden, South Ogden, Pleasant View, Far West, $425,000 at the end of June, through June. Transaction count was about the same, 327 compared to 300, so around the same numbers. Slight increase because in May we were about 412, which is a little bit of a decrease from April. But this particular county has seen an increase. How about Davis County? Cities like Layton, Kaysville, Farmington, Bountiful, Syracuse, Clinton. $520,000 or 500. Bit of a bump from 510,000. Transaction count was about the same, 359 to 362. So this particular county also received a little bit of a bump. How about Salt Lake County? Probably the largest. It is the largest county that we have in the state. And in Salt Lake County, we actually saw a little bit of a decrease from 532 down to about 520. Transaction count was also down a little bit, 1126 to 1056. So a little bit of a difference. So Salt Lake County down just a little. Okay, how about the next county down, which would be Utah County? Areas like Provo, Orem, Lehigh, Saratoga Springs. 496,500, slight bump from 487,600. This particular county was from April to May, was increasing. Now from May to June has seen an increase. Transaction count was about the same, 749, 722. And how about the southern part of the state, Washington County, which has been kind of like all over the map this year. Up, down, up, down. It's been hard to put a fingerprint on this. Slight bump, 529.9 from 499, so about a $30,000 increase. In this particular county, we were seeing increase in February, March, April, then a big drop from 575 down to 499. It's a huge drop. That's $75,000 drop. And we're now seeing the numbers starting to increase back up to about 530. Transaction count is very similar, 196 in May and 163 in June. That's the major counties that we have in the state of Utah. And what is happening in those particular counties as far as price goes. And you can see transaction counts bumping up a little bit. We notice that. I've noticed that myself. A little bit more activity. Some of that is to do with the fact that as we get into warmer weather, it's a more desirable time to look for a home, especially in northern Utah. Also, when the kids get out of school and kids go back into school, some people like to buy and sell a home in between the school year instead of in the middle of a school year. So there's a couple factors that do factor into some of those numbers this time of year. Any questions this evening that I can answer? Then I'm going to call it a night, and I will be back again next week. I do have a new video releasing tomorrow morning. Very interesting video, I think. I don't know. It's kind of a different topic in a sense. So that will be released tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. Take care and stay safe.